Latest and greatest. You already know it's a Thursday, a podcast pregame coming at you live, correct, directed, in full effect as we preview what's going to take place. And I know I'm a couple of minutes late only because I've had the luxury to record a little bit earlier than normal. So this is still a podcast pregame because I'm not done. I still got a couple of more segments to record, but I'll do that after this live stream. But what you got forthcoming is the quote-unquote second half of the NFL to chew on. And I know the NFL fan, they're probably going to scoff at that. They're probably saying that, oh, JAYREELZ, you don't know what you're talking about? Well, I break it down fully. Now, of course, anything could change. Quarterbacks get hurt, injuries, teams could be on the rise that we didn't expect to happen. But you're going to see how I break it down. And to me, it's almost comparable to Major League Baseball at the start of September here in this past baseball season. Because, Bio, my man, what is happening? Good to see you aboard. With how the NFL is going to shape up here, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not you're going to have any races in the AFC and NFC when it's all said and done. And I talked about this a little bit yesterday on the live stream, 12 noon every Wednesday here on YouTube. But the NFL right now, no matter how much they want to spin it, no matter how much they want to say that, oh, you know, the ratings, and of course the ratings are always going to be great, but I look at it as you could only hope that certain teams are going to start to play better, or maybe a team or two will come back to the pack. Now, I'm not talking about playoff seeding. So if the Colts start to lose and they're now maybe somewhere in the middle, 4, 5, 6 seed, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Or if it's going to be Indy, Denver, and New England, let's say they still continue to play well and they're at the top of the conference, and how the tiebreaker, how that's going to play out, yeah, that's going to be fascinating, I will say that. But at the same time, do you expect them to have big Januaries into February? I don't see it. And I have something in my eye again. Jeez, what's wrong? Yeah, I don't see it. So the NFL, to me, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of drama here down the stretch. And even though I mentioned with baseball in September how it was going to be sleepy, and all of a sudden that turned on an ear where the Guardians went past the Tigers to win a division, and then the Mets collapsed, as we saw, as the Reds overtook them on the final day of the season. Name a plane for an edit. What's up, Boeing? Name a plane for an edit. What do you mean by that? Name a plane. What? Type of plane? 747, 727, Gulfstream 6. I named you a few. I don't know. Are you going to gift me with a plane? Hey, if you're Boeing, why not? I could use I can't say I could use it. That's still strong, but 747-8, okay, for an edit. So what does that mean? You're going to give me a Piper Saratoga. Do I get a free round trip ticket somewhere in the world? Bora Bora? How about that? I'll take it. Wife and I could go. We could use a few days somewhere in the South Pacific. But yeah, the NFL, listen, I know week to week and with fantasy and gambling and all that, it's always going to be, people are always going to want to see what is happening throughout the sport. But I have to say, based on what I see now, and I get it, there's still 8 weeks to go. Still plenty of season to be played. But from what I see right now, I wish I could say the other way. I wish I could say, wow, you have 10 teams in each conference that are in the mix, or 12 teams in each conference that are in the mix. You got to remember, can you answer me? I'm on the toilet. Arrow, answer you what? Spa. All right, are you giving me a free spa? How about this? I got Boeing here. I named a plane. And then Irio talking about a spa. How about Boeing, round trip ticket somewhere in the world, anywhere in the world, and there I could get a spa treatment for my wife and I. How about that? Irio, how old am I? Tatsuya, my man. UFC tickets at MSG on Saturday is $800 for nosebleed. Oh, who's fighting at you? I didn't even know that. I should know that if it's UFC. At MSG, who's fighting? And what is it? Middleweight, heavyweight? I know I'm not on top of the MMA as I should, even though, like, if I know there's going to be a big fight. And in fact, what should have happened this weekend, which would have been a big joke anyway, was Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. Even though that would have been orchestrated and it would have been choreographed. Ugh. Boxing is a joke. Ariel, how old am I? I don't know. Based on what you see, take a guess. Jessar, hey, bro, I know this is hella random, but I hope you have a good day, man. Nah. Good day to you, Jessar. I appreciate that. And what part of the world are you from? Jessar, Urio, Boeing. Am I single? I am not. Oh, Makachev. Yeah, I did see that. Della Maddalena. Tatsuya. Are you a big MMA guy, Tatsuya? And if so, are you going to the fight? I know 800 bucks for nosebleeds. That would probably be a no. And I'm with you on that if that's the case. But, yes, I am not single, Uriel. But the NFL, yeah, we like it to be the other way around. We'd like it for it to be, like I said, 10, 14 teams involved, and the next thing you know, you have a race where I don't see that in both conferences. And watch it end up where you have 3 teams fighting for one spot in week 18 or 4 teams fighting it out. We'll have to wait and see, but I don't know. I'm going to sub and like. Oh, Uriel, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Can I sing my favorite song? All right, I'll get into that in a second. What did Tatsuya say? Hold on. I used to like UFC, but women's fighting ruined the sport for me. Whoa, Christy Martin came in? No good? No, Christy Martin was on boxing, right? Yeah, I've never been a UFC guy. I've had to follow it a little bit more. Not that that's saying much. Only because if I'm going to be a well-rounded podcast talking sports, I got to bring it up. And I know I talk about more of the big-time bouts, the heavyweight bouts, the middleweight, etc. But maybe I'll talk about that. I don't even mention it on the podcast. And I've recorded about almost 3/4 of it. But yeah, I'm not huge on UFC because, again, boxing was the sport that I grew up on. UFC is more of I think it's more of a young, I say young man, maybe a young fan sport in my eyes. And I could be wrong about that. But that's not to say I wouldn't watch, but yeah, I'm like take it or leave it. But I have to follow it and do watch. Like if I know it's a big fight or big match, I'll watch it. But Mariana, can I sing my favorite song? What is my favorite song? Well, if I had to sing my favorite song, it's not going to be sung. It's probably going to be in a rap. Can I sing, Uriel? I cannot. And no, I don't want to scare you guys and gals away with my singing. Bio, Southern California getting ready for a 4-day rainstorm. Oh, man. Rams Seahawks Sunday in the rain, although SoFi's covered. Yes. Wow, 4-day rainstorm? When was the last time that happened? And I'm sure we know traffic in LA is brutal, but I can't even imagine. There's one raindrop, and I'm sure it's like 2-hour traffic goes to 4-hour traffic. Uriel, what part of the world are you from? Tatsuya, Reet Petite by Jackie Wilson? Jackie Wilson, he's the one that sings Higher and Higher, right? Yeah, that I think, Reet Petite, I don't know that song. I probably do know it, I just don't know it by title. If I hear it, I probably know it. But, yeah, so as far as that's what you got, NFL, college football, I'll talk about how I think college is better than the NFL right now, which I know that'll probably piss off the NFL fan, but it's true. And you have great games Saturday, Notre Dame, Pittsburgh, lesser scale, but Oklahoma, Alabama, Texas, Georgia. I mean, you can't get any better than that. And those are the 2 games that, of course, I'll have my eye on. NBA, Jalen Brunson leaves with an ankle injury, so all the Knicks fans are holding their bated breath. I got to talk about Nico Harrison. I'll talk about The Thunder 12-1, Pistons 10-2 to Jay. I know Jay and Fishing Angel aren't here, but they're obviously from Michigan, so they know. Hockey's kind of quiet right now. The baseball awards conclude tonight with the MVP, and I think it's going to be chalk. I think you're going to see Aaron Judge and even Shohei Ohtani win. I thought maybe Kyle Schwarber was going to be your favorite, but I think Ohtani's going to be the winner, and I think Judge as well, even though Kyle Raleigh's going to get plenty of votes. It'll probably be close for both races, but I mean, think about this. If Ohtani wins, that's going to be his 4th MVP. And 2 in both leagues, which I don't think has ever happened. So I just think about that. And for Judge, it'll be 3 in the last 4 years who'll win the MVP. So, and of course, if Raleigh and Schwarber win, it'll be their first time. Because what we've seen here with the other awards, it's been chalk. Now, you had, well, except for Rookie of the Year, even though you thought Nick Kurtz, Drake Baldwin, Rookies of the Year, AL and NL. Manager of the Year was a carbon copy of last year. And I wonder when was the last time, if ever, you had managers win back-to-back Manager of the Years in the same year. Because Pat Murphy and Stephen Vogt, Brewers, Guardians, respectively, won the Manager of the Year last year, and he also won it this year. And then you had Tarek Skubal and Paul Skeens win the Cy Young. And I already have to hear talk about the Yankees rumored to get Paul Skeens, or how Skeens wants to be a Yankee when it's all said and done. Oh, my God. Yes, that moment of silence was for watch the Yankees get him. Nah, he's not going to get him this year. The Pirates still have 4 years. And put it this way, even if the Pirates traded Paul Skeens to the Yankees for Cam Schlittler, Clark Schmidt, I know he's coming back from Tommy John, George Lombard, their prize shortstop, Jason Dominguez. Jay, what's going on? Gork, what's happening? God, that's not. Where are you from, Gork? So as I was saying, if Paul Skeens, if the Pirates said, we want Jason Dominguez, Spencer Jones, George Lombard, Cam Schlittler, they just literally take over their home farm system. Unless they do that, and of course that's not going to happen, but unless they do that, the Pirates will just close shop. They shouldn't even be a Major League Baseball team. Yeah, Jones is their top priority. Oh, I think George Lombard is. Is he not? I know he's probably not ready where Jones maybe is. Tatsuya. But unless, and that, let me tell you something. If I'm the GM of the Pirates, and I even thought about trading him now, and Brian Cashman picked up the phone, I'm saying, those are the guys I want back. Jones, Dominguez, Cash will probably hang up the phone. But at the same time, Sherrington will say, well, I'll be out of a job if I don't get those guys back. And he's not getting traded now. He still has 4 more years left before he even hits free agency. And if you're the Pirates, I'd pay him now. Why even wait? And the thing is, you could get him now on a relatively cheap deal. And I don't know who his agent is. I'm sure his agent is Scott Boras. But if I'm the Pirates, I would sign him. Why don't you just sign him 6 years at $180 million? Just do it. $30 million a year. Why not? Do it now. You don't have to worry about arbitration eligible. Because in arbitration eligible, that's the thing also. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts. So he's already 2 years in. Year 3, year 4, not too bad. No, year 3, year 4, I think after year 3, the arbitration starts to kick up. But years 5 and 6, forget about it. He's going to be annually one of the top pitchers in the sport. Why don't you just rip up the contract and just give it to him now? That's it. End the story. 6 years. And that's great because, what is he, 24, 25? He pitches those 6 years, he'll be 31, and he'll still command a big-time contract at that time. That's how I look at it, but who am I? I'm just a sports talk junkie / kook that at least has the foresight for a franchise that is a small market that operates as a mom and pop shop, that would be the way to do it. Because as you get closer, let's say he's 2 years away from free agency, and who knows what you're going to get back at that time, what prospects, etc. You gotta, and now is way too early. I mean, I wouldn't trade him now, but try to sign him. As a matter of fact, let's look that up. It's got to be Scott Boras, right? Who is Paul Skeens' agent? No, his agents are Matt McConnell and Michael Holloman from ISE, that agency, Independent Sports and Entertainment. But you know what's going to happen. Listen, I can negotiate Paul Skeens' contract. I mean, let's be real. The guy is how old? 24 years old tops. He's already won a Cy Young. He's in the discussion of the best pitcher in the sport. In the discussion, he's not. Schoolboy, you have to say. Garrett Crochet. You want to throw in Yamamoto. But Skeens is in that. He's in the car. He's in the back seat, but he's in the car. Skeens is how old? Skeens is 23 years old. He'll be 24 in May. So all you need to know is I can negotiate his contract, and he doesn't need Scott Boras to do it. He has the two guys that hopefully he stays with them. And watch, you already know by just keep this in your receipt pocket. Fishing Angel, good morning and hello. Keep it in your back pocket that in 2029, when he's 2 years away from free agency, watch him fire his agents and hire Boras as his agent. Again, I could be the one to negotiate his contract without question. I mean, come on. If he does not get hurt, if he doesn't, God forbid, Tommy John, right now, he is already on the fast track to Cooperstown. And I got news for you. If the Pirates even think about trading him in the next couple of years, they're nuts. Like I said, fold up shop unless you're getting the entire Yankee farm system. And I'm just using them as an example. But yeah. So that is going to be your podcast. So it's going to come at you maybe a little bit earlier today. It actually may be between 11:30 and 12, considering I've already recorded almost 3/4 of it. I just got to touch on NHL and the baseball, which what you just heard right now is what I'm going to piggyback and continue with as far as the podcast goes. But other than that, that's what I got. And we're 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving. Normally, I have not put up a Thanksgiving podcast. I'll probably do a Thanksgiving live stream. Not probably. More than likely, I will. But I know I'm probably going to have to cook that morning because chances are I'll be going to my in-laws, which I've done since I've been with my girlfriend, now wife. Well, I should say girlfriend, fiance, and wife. So how I look at it is that these next couple of weeks, everybody's going to anticipate. Look forward to Thanksgiving, family, friends, etc. But we still have plenty of time between now and then before I could even talk about the holidays. And before you know it, the year's going to end. And Christmas and parties, etc. And New Year's. I mean, forget it. Yeah, J-Rod, 10-2, man. I know you're flying high. And they play Philly Friday. I was going to do the schedule. Let's see. Piston. Ah, here it is, right here. Tomorrow they host Philly, and yeah, that's the only game they have between now and Sunday. Then they host Indiana on Monday. So there you have it. Ooh, the NBC games on Tuesday. Memphis at San Antonio, obviously because of Wemby, and Phoenix at Portland. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the NBC doubleheader on Tuesday. I like the first game, but they actually show the second game at 11 o'clock. Who the hell on the East Coast is watching an NBA game on NBC that's going to end at 1:30 in the morning? And especially Phoenix and Portland. And Phoenix has played better of late, so I got to give it up. But, not this guy. 4 starters didn't play, and they still blasted the Bulls. And, yeah, the Bulls have been hitting the skids, although they got to that great start. So, yeah, I like it. What does that say? Add a Q&A sticker. Try it. All right, let's see. Fictional character you trust? No. All right, how about this? All right, let's have some fun because I already did my podcast pregame and who's... I mean, this is a stupid one, but maybe I'll start doing these. All right, here's your question Q&A. Answers will appear as chat messages. All right, if I hit return, oh no, that's not gonna work. All right, done. Is that it? Start Q&A. Boom. Oh, can I move that? Why is it in the middle? Yeah, drag here to end Q&A. All right, I'll leave it right there. Can I shorten that? All right, it's my first time doing this, people, so there's your question of the day. Maybe I'll start incorporating this. All right, as good as it's going to get. Lions. Great game Sunday night, and that's going to be for seeding. Actually, maybe for the 1 seed. Detroit at Philly. And what's with A.J. Brown? That's on the podcast, too. I mean, I understand he's honest. He's sharing his thoughts about how the offense hasn't been good, needs to contribute more, etc. But you guys are winning. And even if you're losing, that's even more the reason maybe to gripe. And that just brings the distraction to the locker room. But, nah. I mean, I don't know. And we understand he's a very good wide receiver. But if you ask me, pipe down, my guy. Don't need any distractions. Your team is 7-2. You're the defending champ. And I get it, you're getting 3 catches a game. And you said it wasn't about winning or not getting stats. It's just being more of a contributor on offense than the way the defense is played, especially the game Monday night. Low score 17-13. Ooh. Look at this. You know what? That's a good one, Jay. I can see that. Yeah, not that I was thinking it was going to be high scoring, but I thought maybe first team to 21 probably wins. Jake Bates field goal. Hey, I take it. Yeah, and I'm rooting for the Lions to win. I had enough of the Eagles. Not that I got anything against them or whatever, but let's see what the Lions can do. I'll be rooting for you guys hard. Lord knows I've rooted for your team big time the last 2 years, especially in the postseason. And Pittsburgh's at Detroit later, I think week 16. That is, let's see. Yeah, I think that's week 16. Let's pull that up. Yes, it is, because they go to the Browns and then the Ravens the last 2 games. Wow, Fishing Angel with a big prediction, 32-10. She's like, hell with this. I'm going big or going home. That's pretty bold. Yeah, I think the first to 21 is going to win. So, and I think the Lion offense is a little bit more reliable. Unless Barkley's just going to all of a sudden have a monster game. But, yeah, that's going to be, Eagles. They're going to, Eagles are winning ugly. But, as long as you win, right? No such thing as style points, especially when it comes to winning. So, yeah, we'll touch on all that on the podcast. But, Lions, Pistons. What else I got? What else happening in sports? Anything? Skeen shakes off talk, goals to win with Pirates. Yeah. Curry had 46 for Val B. I know Val's not here, but shout out to him. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Skeens remains under team control for the rest of the decade, but found himself pushing back against the report that he has told teammates he is eager to move on via trade with a particular focus on joining the Yankees. I don't know where that came from, Skeens told reporters. The goal is to win, and the goal is to win in Pittsburgh. Skeens said he saw the report in which an anonymous Pirates player is quoted as saying that the star right-hander is hoping for a trade before he could become a free agent in 2029, but responded that he didn't think much about it. The way that fans see us outside of Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh's not supposed to win, Skeens said. There are 29 fan bases that expect us to lose. I want to be a part of the 26 guys to change that. Well, that's good. Pirate GM Ben Sherrington on Tuesday similarly rejected the idea of Skeens leaving Pittsburgh. Sherrington said he has regularly received inquiries from clubs regarding Skeens' availability, and the conversations are always short. Yeah, but you got to pay the man. And I get it. You're going to wait till he's going to be gone. No Cade last night, and Pistons still won. Wow. No, they're for real. Yeah, so that's Skeens. All right, let's get rid of this Q&A here. All right. What else I got, people? Yeah, that's it. Looking forward to the college football. To me, the highlight of the week is the college football. And no, the NFL on Sunday is good. Tampa, Buffalo, Chargers and Jaguars. Yeah, but okay. Seattle, LA, Tobias, Kansas City at Denver. Enormous game for both teams. I think more for Denver than Kansas City because the game's in that building. Your thoughts on former ESPN host Tony Reali new podcast? He takes the Around the Horn format to Zoom. Who wants to listen to a bunch of shills? I did not know that. Tony Reali got a new, let me see. What's the name of it? I know you said it's Tony Reali he has it on a podcast. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Because part of that, you want to have the visual. And here it is, Around the Horn podcast. Oh, well, that was the show that they had. Tatsuya, what is the name of it? Do you know? Because it doesn't show here. Reality's building his own digital media company, The Real Ones. Yeah, I don't see anything as far as his podcast. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I gotta look into that. Oh, it's Around the Room? All right. And I know you said it's on Zoom. So I guess he's probably going to have a YouTube channel, I would think, right? Around the Room podcast. There we go. Tatsuya, you're the man. Tony recreates Around the Horn on playback. Now, here's the thing. Because of that format, I guess ESPN, you know how ESPN is. They're so bitter. Longtime ESPN host whose signature 5 p.m. show was canceled this spring gave sports fans a taste of what his next step could look like on Wednesday in a stream on the Sports Watch Along service Playback. What is that? I got to look into that. Reality was joined by 4 popular content creators for a digital version of a long-running show. Oh, I got to reach out to them then. 4 popular content creators? Let me see. Trill Bro Dude. Oh, I'm going to reach out to him. They got to get me on there. Oh, for one night, we're bringing the vibes back on Playback. I got to look into this. Playback is a streaming platform designed primarily for sports commentators to broadcast over the top of live games and other video content. Playback is aiming to effectively become a Twitch stand-in for sports fans and creators. Well, Playback, people. Keep that in mind. Now, I'm just finding out about this thanks to you, Tatsuya, so I owe you all the credit. I'll get to the Michigan comment there with Jay and Fishing Angel in a second. Playback. I got to look into this. I know there's so many platforms. I know the other one that I had gone on to, what was it? That I was hosting the games on. When was that? Dating back to the early part of September. I even forgot the name of it. Oh, Assist, yeah, assist.com. Val! All right, let's see what happened here real quick. Michigan versus Northwestern is going to be a slugfest, no blowout. You think it's going to be that close? Huh? Oh, yeah, maybe because the game's in Wrigley, maybe turnout, who knows? Yeah, you know what? That's a good one too, Jay. I like that. But Fisher Game just says, 31-10. Michigan USC has talks about leaving the Big Ten. No, is that right? USC, who cares? Michigan leaving the Big Ten, where are they going? Now it's an independent. Or Big 12? Fishing Angel, God bless you. The only podcast I watch and will watch is JAYREELZ. Bless your heart. That means a ton. I love that. Thank you. Independent, huh? So they're going to be like Notre Dame. Big Ten is about to sign a $1 billion deal and Michigan wants nothing. Really? Wow. Michigan can, yeah, they're big enough school that they could be an independent. Now, they still have to have Ohio State. I mean, that's a given. They'll play Notre Dame. And remember, Michigan and Notre Dame used to play a lot until what? And you know better than I, Jay. Michigan and Notre Dame played every year. I think the last time they played was what, 20, if I had to guess, 2016, 17? When was the last time? $2019. Yeah, 2014, the series went on hiatus. However, the series renewed in 2018-19. So 19 was the last time. Yeah, I said 2015, 16. Yeah, because I thought it was around then. But yeah, they went on hiatus and they played in 18-19. J-Rod, you're on top of it, my man. I love it. It wouldn't happen right away, season or two down the road. All right. No, I understand. Yeah, it wouldn't be a situation where they would all of a sudden say, see ya, and then next year they're on their own. Tatsuya. Met Chef McNeil just went under the knife to fix thoracic. Did he really? So that means he is going to be out. Of course, he's not a pitcher. But remember, Zach Wheeler had that, and he was out like 6 to 9 months, I think, is his recovery. And of course, Matt Harvey had it. I believe Steven Strasburg had it. So if he just had the surgery, he's not going to be ready. And a lot of people thought he could be trade bait, but Yes, big win by the Warriors. I know Val, you're asking me, how bad the Warriors were yesterday in the live. And here they were. They shut me up beating San Antonio. Now, San Antonio, a young team, but hey, when Steph scores 46, that's a big-time performance. Yeah, so, no, Tatsuya, thank you for that, because I got to look into this platform. And I want to see if I can get on that, even though Tony Reale wouldn't know me from a hole in the wall. No typos today, yes. Expect to be a full participant in spring training. Syndrome, nerve damage. Harvey Wheeler got blood clots. Yeah, Wheeler was a blood clot. I didn't realize that Harvey was a blood clot too. Interesting. But if they try to trade him, and not that people are going to be lined up to acquire Jeff McNeil, but still. So look at this. Playback. Yeah, I got to reach out to Tony Reale. All right, so that's what I got, people. So that's what I got. Anything else you want to get at me before I bid adieu? You got me for the next few minutes. Anything Michigan football from about 1900 to today, I don't have to look it up. It's in a yes. No, that's awesome. Yeah, let me think. I can share this with you, Jay. My first, in the early 80s, my first experience, is that a right word? Maybe my first recollection of Michigan was Anthony Carter, the wide receiver. Great in college, did not amount to anything in the pros. But yeah, between then later in the 80s was Jim Harbaugh. Obviously the championship team 97. You had, Tom Brady, Drew Henson. Yeah, we can go on down the list. Everything you know about. So Jeff McNeil, a top 10 Met in Met history. No. J-Rod, that's funny you say that. I want to talk about that. Tatsuya, here are your top 10 Mets in history. You ready? And you should know this. In no order, I might add. Let's see. I was going to type them down. I was just writing. Seaver, Strawberry, Hernandez. You got to say Gooden. David Wright. That's 5. I could say Gary Carter. I'll leave him out for now. You got to say Beltran. Now, I'm not going to say Soto. I'm not going to say any of the guys now. Is Jose Reyes the top 10? What do I have, 7 right now? You put the Grom up there? The Grom could be in the top 10? Yeah, I have to write this down. Hold on a second. Seaver, Strawberry, Hernandez, Gooden, Piazza, Wright, Beltran, I'm not going to say Lindor. I'm not going to say Soto right now. Do you throw in DeGrom? I mean, do you put in a guy like Ed Kranepool? I mean, you have to. The guy was on the Mets for 18 years or 17 years. I understand it's not a sexy name, but Kranepool. Yeah, I'm not putting you on Santana. The Grom, I'll just put him in there for now. I'll put in Carter there for now. So that's 1, 2, 3. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's your 10. Tatsuya, who do you got after these? Or who would you like to take out? Seaver, Strawberry, Hernandez, Gooden, Piazza. You can't take them out. Right, you can't take out. Beltran, that's 7. Kranepool, DeGrom, and Carter. Yeah, I mean, you're not. Who else you putting in there? You're not putting Johan. You could put in John Franco. Because he was a Met. I mean, think about it. He was a Met for like 15 years. But he's a relief pitcher. You're not putting Pedro. You're not putting. Those are probably the top 10. Maybe Jerry Koosman. Oh, here we go. That's your order, right? To yeah, bro. Yeah, I'd have to take out Delgado only because he was there for what? 06 to early 09. He got let go after 09. So yeah, I'd have to take him out. Nolan Ryan. Yeah, but he wasn't Nolan Ryan. He did win a World Series, but he got traded in 72 for Jim Fregosi, one of the worst trades of all time. I can't put Ryan there either. If anything, I'll take Delgado and Ryan out. And who did I put in? Beltran and Kranepool. I know Kranepool's not a sexy guy, but the guy who's an original Met, he played 17 years. He held all the Met records until Wright broke them. As far as games played, hits. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else, though. No, I think that does it. What could Strawberry and Lawrence Taylor could have been without crack and cocaine? Taylor would have. I know the crazy thing about Taylor was with all the off the field stuff that he had, the guy was still dominant and was a Hall of Famer. Strawberry, and Strawberry is my all-time favorite Met. Here's one for you, Tatsuya. Who are your all-time favorite Mets? Top 5. And I'll tell you right now, in this order. You ready for this? You're going to laugh. Straw, Keith, get ready because it's going to change on a dime. Gooden, Lee Mazzilli, and ready for the last one? Dave Kingman. Those are my 5 favorite Mets. And I know Kingman was, in and out of the clouds. But when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, I couldn't get enough of Kingman. Or really 6, 7, and 8 because he got traded in 75. He struck out every 5 seconds, but man, his home runs were prodigious. But yeah, Jay, Strawberry, he was definitely a Hall of Fame talent, but is not going to see the light of day when it comes to that. And you tried out for Sports Jeopardy, never got a call back, really? Yeah, I did the online thing and I never got a call. Well, I never got an answer back. Your top 5. Hundley's number 1? Wow. Strawberry, Piazza, Gooden, and Olerud. I know Olerud was there for just 3 years, and he was a very good Met. Part of that 99 team that went to the NLCS. Part of the best infield in the history of the sport. Remember that? Olerud, Alfonso, Ordonez, Ventura. Takeaway off the field stuff. Taylor breaks defensive record. Yeah, probably. I mean, Lawrence Taylor, I don't care how you slice it. He is by far not only the best defensive player in the history of the sport. I did see that bio. It's funny you bring that up. I saw it. Yeah, and he was an idiot. I mean, yeah, I saw that. That's funny you bring that up, bio. Yeah, as far as Taylor, yeah, to me, here's a good debate. Not only is he the best defensive player in the history of the sport, because he revolutionized the outside linebacker position, but you could say all-time players, he's second in the history of the sport behind Jim Brown. As far as dominance, as far as unstoppable, as far as... Because, yeah, you can say Tom Brady with the Super Bowls. You can say Joe Montana. Jerry Rice is third, by the way. So Jim Brown, Lawrence Taylor, Jerry Rice, as far as I'm talking about football players. I'm not talking about stats. I'm not talking about numbers. I'm talking about sheer talent, ability. Those 3 guys, bar none. Yeah. We were talking about that yesterday. Bio, UCLA. Right. If you're thinking Rams, you're going to think Aaron Donald. And listen, Donald is up there. How many times he won Defensive Player of the Year? 3 times? Was first team All-Pro. Was he in the league 10 years? Was first team All-Pro like 8 years. I mean, that's sick. And I know you have Mean Joe Green and Randy White, who was fantastic. Here's Aaron Donald. You ready for this? Nope, I didn't want that. Jeez. Aaron Donald played 10 years, 2014 to 2023. Three-time Defensive Player of the Year. And this is all you need to know about how great you are. Forget about Pro Bowls. Pro Bowls to me don't count. It is, and he did make the Pro Bowl 10 straight years. But 10 years in the league, 8 times. First team All-Pro. I mean, I understand prisoners of the moment. People got to think of, like I said, Bob Lilly, Joe Green, Randy White, John Randall. But that, my friends, that's a resume. University of Pittsburgh. Bio, that's a good one too. Peyton is up there as well, without question. As far as football player. And you know what? Yeah, I mean, Peyton. Yeah, that guy was just, may God rest his soul. And that, I mean, I'll never forget, he died so early. He died in 99. I think it was October 99. The day he died, I think it was the same day where Atlanta played in Pittsburgh on Monday night. That was the year after they went to the Super Bowl. When they lost to Denver. Yeah, no, Peyton is definitely, he's probably fourth as far as football player. Yeah, Jay, same with Strawberry. Could have played many more seasons. Yeah, I know. And even regretted going to LA. That hurt him. He even admitted that. Greatest football player you ever saw is Tom Brady. Barry Sanders, the best player I've ever seen. You know what's funny about Barry Sanders? He was a guy that, to me, I think he's the most electrifying running back in the history of the sport. And you know, also was great, and I can't stand him at times because he's just, I don't know, he's just such a sourpuss. Eric Dickerson was, oh my God, that guy, 6'3", the way he was built and the way he ran, he was so good. But yeah, he's not up there. I mean, he's an all-time great, but he's not up there with Barry, with Jim Brown. Emmitt Smith, absolutely. The thing about Emmitt, though, he was behind a great offensive line, obviously played on great teams, that's not his fault. And although he holds the all-time rushing record, I get that. And I understand if you had one game, who would you choose? If I had one game for running back, who would I choose? I would choose Peyton. Barry Sanders, I don't know if I'd choose him. He's close. I'll tell you who else was a bad man. You want to watch some highlights and clips of someone who was a bad man, and he was short-lived as far as his career. Go back and watch highlights of Earl Campbell. That guy would go around you. He would go through you. That Monday night game against Miami, where on the 20-yard line, he just turned the corner. The guy was so dominant. He had tree trunks for legs, but he had speed, had power. I mean, that guy was a monster. Yeah, Lions did Barry Sanders dirty, yeah. Then he retired. Yeah, Jerry Rice is up there too, without question, as far as football player. Warwick Dunn was insane. Warwick Dunn was very good, but he's not in that category. Warwick Dunn, Florida State. Ario, welcome back. Yeah, Marcus Allen was very good, very underrated. Now, I say underrated only because when you talk about the other guys we mentioned, and he doesn't deserve a backseat to anybody, but yeah, is he Jim Brown? Is he Walter Payton? Is he Barry Sanders? He is not. What Marcus Allen was, he was just a smooth running back. Can't forget Bo Jackson. I understand the hip. Bo Jackson was dominant. Thank you, Jay. Jay, you and I right here, just like Bio. We're all like aligned as sports nutcases. Yeah, Bo Jackson. I mean, come on. To me, Bo Jackson, although wasn't as big as Earl Campbell, but he was Earl Campbell. Because he'd run through you, he'd run around you. Bo Jackson was, forget it. I'm going to say Bryce Underwood is going to be a legend for sure. Wait, college or pros? Or both? Dickerson was like Barry for teams he was on, let him down. Yeah, I know. He left, wanted to get traded out of the Rams, went to Indianapolis, then went to the Raiders. And yeah, he's, both. All right, we're going to keep that receipt, Fishing Angel. He's going to be a legend at Michigan and when he gets drafted to the pros. Yeah, I tell you. I know this guy's banned, but I love Ray Rice as a running back. Well, he certainly doesn't belong in that category. And Ray Rice, listen, went to Rutgers. He's actually from New Rochelle. He's from the town north of where I live. And I've tried to get him on my podcast too, by the way, which I still should try to reach out to him again. But no, he was a bowling ball, Ray Rice. Good running back. Won a Super Bowl. No, I can see why. Underdogs, undersized, but had a lot of heart. Bryce has the tools he needs to coach and better help, period. Yeah, obviously you know that more than I, Jay. And of course, I'm not watching every down of Michigan. So, yeah, no, I like this conversation. Best football player of all time. Just football player. Or the discussion of the best football player. What else we got? Oh, I missed this earlier with J-Rod. Night game in Ann Arbor. Rain like crazy. Michigan kicked their ass. Go blue. I missed that one. It wouldn't happen right away a season or two down the road. Yeah, that I caught up on. Got to make sure I'm all up on the comments here. Right, what is that one? Hold on. Oh, your first poster as a kid was Eric Dickerson? Bio? Yeah, I never forget. There was a game in '83, which was his rookie year. I think it was week 3. And it's on YouTube. Now, the game was marred by that fight with Mark Gastineau and Jackie Slater. I wasn't marred, but that game is remembered more. It was a regular season game. I think it was like week 3 at Shea Stadium. And it's funny, when I did my Shea Stadium video, I didn't talk about it because, But Eric Dickerson, off of a pitch, Vince Ferragamo ran up the left sideline, and he ran past everybody. And he had that, he stood up straight. Yeah, Dickerson was awesome. Thank you, Val. Marshall Faulk, maybe top 3 all time. Yeah, Faulk, for a guy running and catching the ball out of the backfield. And that's another thing. Marcus Allen was very good as a pass catcher too. But Marshall Faulk was dominant. Faulk was great too, though. San Diego State. Faulk. Now, it's funny because you're going to choose all those other guys. The Barrys, the Paytons, Well, Marshall Faulk, he was a guy that, think about this. When fantasy football really came into effect in the early 2000s, everybody picked Marshall Faulk because he was able to rush the ball and catch it out of the backfield. And here I'm saying that like if I know fantasy football. I only know it just talking to other people who do fantasy football and following from that regard. Marshawn Lynch for 2 seasons was all-universe running back. Yeah, Lynch was no joke either. Jamal Anderson. Both players were great. Well, here's the other thing. Jamal Lewis rushed for 2,000 yards one year. Ravens. And Jamal Anderson was good. Dirty Bird, Falcons. I was raiding in Pacific Grove yesterday, Val. I know, and based on what Bio said earlier, you're going to have 4 days of rain in Southern California. Reggie Bush at USC, top 5 rushing performer. Oh, yeah, no, Reggie Bush was great in college. Didn't amount to being a good pro player, but he was excellent at USC. That I agree. Let me see. Yeah, that's pretty much it with the top football players. Well, Tatsuya, you said Brady's the guy that you love? Unless you can't knock him. Living in SoCal, I have great memories of those Saturday late games, 8 p.m. start time, San Diego State versus BYU or Marshall Faulk. Nah, it's awesome, Bio. That's what living in the West Coast to watch these games are much better than the East Coast. That's for sure. Love these comments, people. I love it. Love the engagement. All this good stuff. Let me see. Anything else happening real quick before I sign off? Because, yeah, I'll get back to my recording. Yeah, I've already recorded 3/4 of the podcast. So I just got to record the last. So hopefully it'll be up by noon, even before that. It's been cold in Michigan. Yeah, I know. It was cold here where the wind chill was in the 20s. Oh, Fishing Angel, you're speaking my language. All right, now I got a question for you, Fishing Angel. What do you like it hot? Or are you just like, no, I like it 85, that's perfect, sunny day, beach, whatever, or lake? Or do you like it 90, 95, 100? Vince Young's Rose Bowl performance, best college performance ever. Yeah, that was the best college football game I've ever seen. And I know Nebraska-Miami in 84, that was even better than that game, but that game was excellent. And Vince Young amounts to nothing. Matt Leinart amounts to nothing. Think about the players that were in that game. 85 to 90, not too hot. Yeah, that's me. To me, if it's 95, it's like, how come it's not 98? And people ask me, it's so funny with the summer, they say, oh, but if you lived in it all year long, let's say in Texas or whatever, well, not all year, but let's say when it's 100 every day from mid to late June until the end of September, I said, bring it on. Please, when I was in Miami last July, yeah, it was July, well, I was in Florida from July 17th through the 26th. I was in Orlando, then I went to Miami. And was it hot? It was, but it wasn't suffocating. And South Florida or Florida in the summertime is brutal, and especially South Florida. But I mean, all of Florida is. But yeah, it was hot, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I need AC. Nope. I ran in the morning. Well, I ran for one day in the morning where, not to bring up those memories, but yeah, I ran one day, and then the next day I ran in Orlando. And at the time I didn't know, but I ended up getting a stress fracture on my left foot. And I actually have it on a vlog. It's on my channel for those who are interested or care. You got to go back a year. And I probably have it on the lifestyle vlogs. But I vlogged my trip to Orlando and then my trip to Miami. And part of the theme, part of the storyline was not only me hurting myself and severely hurting my foot, but how I was going to progress and still plan to run. At the time, not knowing a broken foot, where when I came back to New York, July 26th, 4 days later, I had a doctor's appointment. I even detail that. So for those who want stuff that's not sports related and just want to watch me hurt my foot and hobble along and spend time with family and reconnect with the part of the country and a city that I have in my heart, a big place in my heart for, if that's something you're into, give it a whirl. All right. Oh, after 10:30, let me get ready to sign off, people. Anything else I need to be apprised of? Anything else you want to talk about? Anything else on your mind? Whatever it may be. Yeah, Luke on Harrison firing. I talk about that. Brunson turns ankle. I talk about that. All right, my good people. that will do it. Another podcast pregame just about the books. Of course, if you have any comments, I'll pick them up. But, in closing, I appreciate you guys always. You're my diehards. You're my kooks. You're my regulars. Love you guys big time. You don't know how much. I think it's the first time I've said love you guys. But I do, because you guys always keep me accountable. Always keep me on my toes. You're my CEOs, because obviously you're here carving out precious time to listen to what it is I have to say. And obviously podcasts coming at you by noon, as well as Monday we'll revisit once again. Val, hi. How do you do the hi sticker? I got to start doing that. I got to learn the tricks of the trade when it comes to this. Hold on. Is that it? Add photos to your camera to get camera roll. Oh, to do a green screen. Ooh, okay. I got to do a tutorial on this. What's this right here? Oh, it's the lighting on. So I go lighting off. Okay, wait, hold on. All right, it gives you a little shade. I know I have my ring light here, so you only see light here and the darkness here. But yes, my good people, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. As you already know, in the blood and the DNA, talking sports since birth. Fishing Angel, thank you. If you're going to work today, have a great work day. Jay, thank you as always. Who on here has deer in their backyards? I know I don't. I'm sure you have plenty, and I love deer. They're beautiful animals. I'm sure they're parading all over the place where you're at. But yes, my good people, until we reconvene on Monday, next podcast pregame, I've only been to Kentucky and Florida. I love living out in the middle of nowhere. And listen, when you don't have neighbors, do you have neighbors close to you? Or like, is it your house and then the next neighbors maybe, I don't know, you could yell, scream, party, and nobody will hear you. And you've been to Kentucky and Florida. What part of Florida have you been to, Fishing Angel? Kentucky, I have been to, now that I think about it, but only to the airport, because I went to Cincinnati one year in '98 to watch the Steelers lose in Cincinnati at Old Riverfront Stadium. And that's the only time. Our daughter was born in Kentucky. Oh, nice. Nice. What part? I'm curious. But as I wait for Fishing Angel to respond to that. So yeah, people, you know the drill. You know what's happening. You know what's going on. Yes, Jay, you have a great day too. To everybody on here, Tatsuya, Val, Bio, Fishing Angel, Jay. There was Irio. There was a few other people here that joined us today. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, Boeing, Irio, Jessar, Tatsuya, of course, Mariana. Yeah, Gork. Yeah, Gorkum, I guess I just pronounced that. I want to make sure I get his name right, or her name. I don't know. Yeah, my usual suspects. I have a usual suspects t-shirt that I may wear, especially when it comes to these live streams. So we'll keep that in mind. Now, I appreciate the back and forth. I appreciate the questions. I appreciate the nostalgia, all this. I mean, this is why I love to do this. Yeah, I think I got everybody there. What was this? Oh, Yurio when he came back. All right. So that is it. Yes, I'll tell the wife you said hello. As a matter of fact, I told her the last couple of times you did. So, thank you, Fishing Angel. Love you back. Jay, have neighbors, but they don't care, and nothing behind us besides a massive piece of woods. Man, I know that's funny because my wife says she would rather have no to very little neighbors. Now, of course, I live in New York City, so not but people around us. But yes, and I know we spoke early in the week, Jay. So next late summer, early fall, we'll make a visit. But I'll tell the wife you said hello there, Fishing Angel. Thank you so much. And everybody, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Enjoy your weekend, whatever it is you're going to do. Have fun. Live it up. Stay strong. See you guys and gals on Monday, of course, as always on the flip. And yes, stay tuned for the podcast coming at you in a little while. Much love, people. Enjoy.